Hello everyone, welcome to the series Stretching for the Stiff. So the very first muscle we're going to address is the hamstring. So the hamstring is the large muscle that's in the back of the thigh. It's actually consists of three different muscles, and one of those three actually has two heads. So it's almost like it is four different muscles in the back of our leg. And the hamstring can be very problematic for a lot of people. I've seen many cases of low back pain just simply because the muscles in the legs are tight and it's putting an additional strain on the low back. So let me give you an example. If you were to bend over and pick something up, if your hamstrings are really tight, so this is the muscle in the back of the thighs, your hamstring's really tight, then it's going to be your low back that allows you to have that mobility to bend over and pick something up. However, that increase in strain on the low back, especially over a period of time, takes a toll. It can result in some degenerative changes. It can result in an instability. So, and simply just by keeping the hamstring more mobile, it can take a lot of pressure and a lot of stress off the low back. Okay, so I'm going to move to my mat and I'm going to show you some really simple stretches, especially if your hamstring is tight. So this class is geared for very beginner level. Okay. All right. So most of the time, if you were to sit in this position, a lot of times when someone's hamstring is tight, for one thing, they're not able to even sit with their legs straight, right? They have to lean back, or their low back is in a rounded position, and then them trying to reach forward is this position. So that puts a lot of stress on the low back, just trying to get to the hamstring and try to stretch it. So this position here, honestly, it's not the best way to stretch the hamstring, especially if you're really stiff and you're really tight. The best way to stretch the hamstring is to lay down on your back, because then we take all the pressure off your low back area. So just simply laying down and bending one leg up, and you want to hold behind here. If it's too hard for you, you can simply use a strap to help you, or you can use a towel or a belt. And from here, just let the knee bend. See, my knee is bent, but this other leg is straight. Now, with this other leg, if it puts too much pressure on the low back, you could always bend it up, but you're not going to get near the hamstring stretch. So you want to, with time, eventually to try to straighten this other leg and ground it down into the floor. So this straight leg is also staying pretty active. And from here, just very gently trying to straighten the leg. If the leg doesn't go straight, don't worry about it. So if you notice, I did one more thing. I flexed the foot, and that's going to put a little bit more of an additional stretch. It's also going to get a little bit into the sciatic nerve, and that is not a bad thing. So often when I do my hamstring stretch, I am flexing my foot, I'm splaying the toes, so I get a nice deep hamstring stretch, an entire leg stretch, and I'm also getting a little bit of a nerve stretch, which again, that is not a bad thing, okay? So how long do you hold this? You want to hold this for about 15 seconds, relax, and you want to do this about 4 times on each leg, okay? So another way to stretch, especially if you have a strap, this comes in handy, is to keep the leg straight and just bring it up to your degree. This will just get a different part of the hamstring when you do this. And you want to keep the foot flexed. Again, I'm keeping this leg straight and grounding it down. If I'm having any back pain, I can bend this other leg, but again, you're not going to get near the hamstring stretch. So try and keep that leg grounded. Again, it doesn't matter how high you go. And with your goal being eventually trying to get to at least 90 degrees, maybe higher, but that could take some time. So your goal with that other position, this position here, would be eventually trying to get the leg all the way straight at a 90-degree position. Okay? So another simple stretch that you can do that doesn't take put any pressure on the back is to use the wall. So you can see I'm right up against my wall here. And if you can just scoot your hips to the wall and let them swing up, just like that. And this is a nice, easy way to stretch the hamstring. And if you're feeling a stretch behind the legs, great. So, but you'll get to a point where this doesn't give you much of a hamstring stretch. That is perfect, because that's the point you want to get to. If you're feeling a lot of stretch here, then this is where you belong, on the wall. And you can just set a timer, and you just want to hang out there. Hang out there for a minute, 2 minutes, work your way up to 3 minutes. Once these laying on the floor and using the wall become easy, that's when you can get in this long sit position. So remember, we don't want to have the spine rounded. We want to try to get the pelvis lifted up, okay? And to stay safe in this position when you're stretching your hamstrings, you want to make sure that you're keeping your feet flexed and active as if you're shooting both the heel and the ball of your foot straight ahead. And when you do that, you'll feel the entire leg engaged. You also want to pull in the belly. So you want to engage the belly. You don't want to try to arch the back. You want to pull in the belly. But here's the thing. You want to lift up through the chest. So you're pulling in here, but lifting up through the chest. And then simply reaching for the feet, trying to keep the back as straight as you can. What you don't want to do is this. Even me doing this little bit, I'm feeling a lot of pressure in my low back. So this is a more advanced hamstring stretch. So this comes later after you've done those other beginner stretches and you're starting to get easy. So let's go over that again. So feet are flexed. You're pulling in the belly but lifting up through the chest. You're making sure your pelvis is forward and the whole spine is lifted as you reach forward towards your feet. And again, you can hold this for 15 seconds, repeat it 4 times, or you can just set a timer and maybe hang out here for a minute or 2. Though that is perfectly fine, but just stay active. Keep the feet active, keep the belly engaged. Okay, so hopefully you found this little video helpful, and we'll be going over the opposite in the next video, which is the front of the thigh. So that's going to be the quadricep next video.